Okay. So, hi, hello again. Welcome to the second Student Success Workshop. I appreciate you guys for coming out and joining me on this beautiful Tuesday evening. So, the last workshop that we did was about time management. So, now we're going to be diving into more of, I guess, like the nitty-gritty stuff. So, it's going to be about studying. So this presentation is called Study Smarter, Not Harder. And these are going to be some study techniques and habits that I want to share with you guys when you guys are studying. Let me see. Let me see if it's going to let me. Okay, guess it's not. I don't know why it's not letting me. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Can everyone see the presentation?
Yes, we're still on the first slide.
Okay, okay, cool. So, okay, we can see the second slide now, yes?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so real quick, what is studying? Um, I put it over here just real quick. Take some time to yourself to kind of think about like what it is that you do while you're studying, how you study. But the general thing about studying is that you're basically looking over your notes and the materials that you have from your class. So you're looking through your textbooks, whether that's on like a physical textbook or it's like on an iPad or a Chromebook or whatnot, or even like websites and um, flyers that you get from your teachers. And then also based on like whatever it is that you write on your notebook and paper about what lesson it is that you guys had learned in your classes today. That's part of studying. Um, what it also is that you're improving like your memory and how you improve your memory and how you take in the information that you're supposed to be learning in order to understand the material and then also to be able to successfully pass like any tests or midterms and whatnot. Um, Having that memory and sorry, give me 1 second. Working on your memory and improving that memory can help you retain your information a lot more easily. And also, along with that, it's finding techniques that match your learning style. So we'll kind of dive into that in a little bit. Um, like I mentioned before in the time management workshop, everyone is different. Um, Not everyone has the same mindset or has the same like work ethic that you may have. Like some people um could probably study for like 30 minutes and then kind of call it quits and then kind of like take a break. But then there's other people who can probably study for like 5 hours with no breaks and are just determined to get as much information as they can. So really when it comes to studying is that it really just depends on how you are as a person. I put this little meme here just because it's one of my favorite one of my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy memes, but thought it thought at the time thought it was it kind of matched it. um so kind of the things that we're going to talk about are the core principles of effective learning. So these are just things that you should kind of keep in mind and we'll kind of briefly go over them in the next slide. But one of the things these are just some of the things that you should think about when you are trying to study and to be able to have like effective like studying. So why are you studying? How are you studying? When are you studying? And where exactly are you studying? Um, it's pretty straightforward, but to kind of just like emphasize on it more. So, why are you studying? So, when you think about why you're studying, think about like your motivation. So, are you trying to get a good grade in the class? Are you trying to bring up some of your grades? Are you actually really interested about certain information? So, you're studying on your own time to kind of learn more about it. It really just depends on like why you want to study, what you're studying, what subjects and what topics do you feel like you need to improve on? What do you feel like you just need a refresher on? Think about when it comes to like what are you studying, think about the things that you can that you will need to plan out in order to like apply your studying habits and your study techniques so you can get like a better outcome of like what it is that you want. Um, what is the best time to study? So again, like, it's a preference for everyone else. Some people like to study in the morning, some people like to study at night. Some people like to specifically go to a coffee shop at 3 p.m. to either bask in the ambience of the Starbucks that you're in and just listen to lo-fi. Like it literally depends on you as a person and what you should kind of think about, and I'll also get into this a little bit more um, further down in the slides, is that when you think about what is the best time to study, what you should kind of keep in mind is that the time of day that you study is kind of like in correlation to how much information that you can retain. Again, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more when we go down the line, but sometimes like, you want to make sure that you're not studying at a time where you're already on the verge of falling asleep. Like at that point, just go to sleep. So yeah, again, looking around at what you are surrounded by. So if you study best in an area where there is no music, where it's just you yourself and just you and yourself, basically. And you feel like your studying habits are more effective that way, then you go ahead and do that. If you feel like you can study better when you're with your friends, then that's another thing. So that's just some things to kind of keep in mind before we kind of go forward. So I kind of wanted to bring up the scenario just to kind of give you guys an idea of what to kind of expect because this is something that kind of happens to everyone. I'm pretty sure it happens to everyone. It's happened to me a couple of times when I was in college, and it is it can be a total nightmare sometimes, and you can feel like totally lost. So the scenario is that your professor is talking too fast. You try to get all the information that you are hearing from them, but you're home now and you realize that you got a lot of those red scribbles on your Google Doc, a lot of misspelled words, a lot of punctuation, like it's basically gibberish on your screen. And you can't understand what you've written, and now you need to study for your midterm. So what can you do? Well, before we get into that, I kind of want you guys to again, like I will also send the presentation to you guys, but go ahead and scan this QR code. If it doesn't work, there is this link right here. And what it is that I want you guys to when you don't have to do it right now, um, but just to kind of keep in mind, to have it in your tabs or whatnot, if you're on your phone or if you're in your laptop and whatnot. Um, what type of learner you are can really help with determining how you utilize certain study habits. So I'm gonna just give it like a couple more minutes for you guys to kind of just like to kind of take it. The test is about, I would say, 30 minutes long. I tried it out myself. It's kind of long, but it's really, really fun. Oh, thank you, Samantha. So the link is in the chat. If you guys are on your laptops, or even on your phones, you feel free to click on it and have it saved in your tabs, and you guys can take it whenever you want. Maybe see what kind of learner you are, and oh, yeah, I'm gonna keep it on for just a few more minutes. 'Cause- Okay. Okay. So again, I will send you guys the presentation. So don't worry if you guys feel like you guys weren't able to capture it or anything. The link is in the chat, so feel free to click on it whenever you'd like. So This is a quick activity that I thought would be really interesting for you guys to learn more about yourselves, especially as students. When I took the test, I kind of already had an idea of what kind of learner I was, and well, there's basically three types of learners. So there is the auditory learner, there's the visual learner, and there's also the kinesthetic learner. Um, so auditory learners are people who are, as the name suggests, they find learning information a lot more easily when they can hear it. They retain the information a lot more easily. They're able to understand it a lot more easily. So like if you're listening to like a podcast or if you're listening to a recording, like you don't need to like listen, you don't need to watch your professor's like recordings in order to understand the material. What I am, and I think what a good amount of people are too, is that people are visual learners. So what that means is that you would much rather, so say for example, you're taking a class here at LBCC and you're looking through, how you guys are looking through um, your courses, trying to figure out what it is that you guys are learning. I mean, to figure out what kind of class you guys are taking. So either like a hybrid class or you guys are taking an online class. If you feel like you learn a lot better when you're in a classroom setting and you can see what the professor is doing, or you have a recording from your professor or your teacher and you can see how you guys are supposed to be tackling problems and whatnot, you are a visual learner. Um, it's a very it's a very common type of learner, especially like for our math lovers and whatnot. If you love math and you need to be able to understand like how to do certain problems, you're most likely going to be a visual learner. But that's my opinion. um, Another common one is the kinesthetic learner. So that's literally being like hands-on. If you prefer having to touch things, to move things around. So if you have a whiteboard at home or you have like notebooks and whatnot, and you need to map stuff out and to kind of like draw it and kind of mold it into your mold it to wherever it is that you need. um that's what a kinesthetic learner is. And the thing about the type of learners that people are, it's not just limited to one. You can be more than one. You can literally be two, or you can literally be all three. For me, I've always been a visual learner, but I've learned throughout the years, being in school, that I'm very much a kinesthetic learner, that I would like to see what I'm learning, and I would also like to be able to physically touch whatever it is I'm learning. So that's just something fun for you guys to do. Again, um, presentations will be sent to you guys. This recording will be sent to you guys. So no worries if you guys are coming in late and you are kind of a little lost. Don't worry. We'll send you everything. So one of the things, so there are people that would much rather study by themselves. So this is kind of what you would but this would kind of be like a checklist for everything that you guys should kind of keep in mind when you guys are studying, regardless of whether you're by yourself or not. But usually, like, one of the things that you should know or you should keep in mind of is that you have all the necessary tools and the materials that you need. So again, that's either being able to be able to log into Canvas or whatever website it is or whatever platform it is that your guys' school uses in order to access your assignments, in order to access your work, papers and PDFs that you guys need to access. That also includes having like either a laptop or having an iPad, a Chromebook, your books, like all the necessary things you need. And not only that, I would also say even your notebooks, your pens, pencils, highlighters, like literally all the essential tools that you literally bring to school, you bring that to when you're studying. As for workspace, you know, it depends what you decide to be or what you determine as a distraction-free location. So that can be music. You would much rather like listen to music. It could be, I always mention lo-fi. I think I mentioned lo-fi a lot in the last workshop too, but lo-fi is one of those you could put like one of those playlists or type the genre of music that people would usually use in order to focus because of how low the setting is, but then also like how kind of upbeat it still kind of brings to the to your studying. So because some people could probably fall asleep um when they're just surrounded by silence. Or people could easily fall asleep when they are listening to music in general. So again, it depends what you determine to be distraction free. Um, Also, physical conditions are very important. Lighting is very, very important. You know, if you have dim lighting in your room and you're trying to study and it's barely like 8 o'clock, and you start falling asleep, it's probably because of your lighting. Um, it depends on, again, like I mentioned earlier, it depends on what time of day that you guys find more effective when you're studying. So that could be in the morning when you're kind of getting ready if you take the bus or your parents are dropping you off at school. Um, you know, you would much prefer like sitting in the back and kind of just like putting headphones on and just kind of looking through your notes or looking through your textbooks on things that you want to learn. Um, Same thing is with like the afternoon. If you find that you are more active in the afternoon and you are not taking your cat naps like after like a really long day of school, um, by all means, like go ahead and use the afternoon time to study. Evening is usually when a lot of people like to study, and I will get into that in a bit. So, kind of the thing that I also mentioned is that where there are people that that would like rather work by themselves, there's also people that would much rather like working with other people. So, for example, if you are working with others, um, you know, engaging discussions to understand and to also learn new information or old information. So, say for example, you have a friend that understands the material like super easily and you don't know anything at all of what it is that you're learning in trigonometry. You can go to that friend and you can talk to them and you guys can basically kind of bounce back on each other. Like say for example, they might be more helpful in math, but they need a lot of help in English. And English just happens to be your strong suit, but math is your weakness. So you guys can kind of engage and work around with each other if you um, feel like you can work around with your friends. It becomes a distraction though if like, you go out with your friends and you start studying, but then you guys just end up not studying. You guys start talking about other things. Then, kind of put that in your head like, maybe I shouldn't be doing that because I really need to study and my friend needs to study. So either you guys work together or you guys separate and you guys study on your own. So again, kind of reiterating, teach what you know and learn what you don't know. Teach what you know to other friends, to other people, but then also learn from those same people about what it is that you don't know. And again, like kind of going back to the idea of like if your friend knows math a lot better than you do, find that person who understands the material. So that also means not only going to your friends, that also means going to your professors. You guys should be going to your professors or your teachers um, to understand the lessons and the material that they're teaching you because they are directly teaching you, whether that means that you're learning in a classroom or you're learning through your computer screen. Never feel afraid to talk to your professors or your teachers. And I know that's a misconception sometimes with some students because they feel like they can't talk to their teachers or they can't talk to the professors. Your professors and your teachers are always going to be people in your life that are going to help you because they want you to understand what you're learning. So some study techniques I want you guys to kind of be aware of. Um, If you guys have never heard of the Pomodoro technique, think of it as like when you guys are baking and you have a little timer. So what it is that you give yourself about like 25 minutes to study or more, depending on how long you think you can study. And when the timer goes off, you can reward yourself by going on your phone, by um, going outside of your house and literally going and laying on the grass. It literally depends on whatever it is that you guys determine as a reward. Um, the point is that you are dedicating 25 minutes or more to the material that you're learning. So that literally means having no distractions at all. So your TV should be off, your Netflix shouldn't be on another tab, your phone should be face like literally should be face down and away in a drawer or something and on silent. Like you need those 25 minutes in order to retain your information, but also in order to stay focused on what it is that you're doing. It's a very good study technique, and it's also a very common study habit that people develop. Spaced repetition. So this is for more um, difficult subjects. So we're learning different units and we're having a little bit of trouble trying to um, remember certain things. So, say, for example, in history, we're trying to learn about the Civil War and we're forgetting certain generals and specific battles we may have not, that we may not remember because there's just so much that we have to learn in one unit. Well, spaced repetition is basically you're taking it by quarter. So remember how I mentioned in the last workshop about how you're supposed to be studying at least like 2 hours 2 hours a day if you take a certain amount of if you take a certain amount of credits and units for dual enrollment. That's basically kind of what spaced repetition is. You're taking 2 hours of your day to study that hard material, and you're doing that every single day. You're not going over the limit. You're not going under the limit. You're going as fast and as efficient as you can be. Um, One of the very important things about study techniques is your sleeping habits. Sleeping habits are very, very important, and I will get into that in the next slide. And then also, if you feel like none of these work and there is nothing else that you can think of that can actually help you, we, of course, have our tutoring and success centers. So that is available for you guys to use. If you feel like you don't understand the material, if you feel like if you can't reach your professor, if you and your friends are both lost, go to your tutoring centers and go to your success centers. They are more than happy to help you out. So, sleeping. Everyone loves sleep. I love sleep. You love sleep. Everybody loves sleep. Um, Fun thing about sleep is that if you get 7 or 8 hours or more, you are literally on top of the world. You are at that 1% and you are going to achieve. But I mean, what I mean is that regardless, if you guys are able to actually get some sleep, that is more than enough for you guys to get on, not only get started with your day, but kind of take in everything more. So, one of the things that you need to understand about sleep is that um, if you actually study before you go to bed, you can actually you can actually retain information a lot more easily. Um, I don't know if that has affected anyone before, or if it's been effective for them to do that, but it's scientifically proven that if you get not only proper sleep, but if you study before you get your proper sleep, you can recall your information a lot more easily and you can remember things a lot more easily. And you can also learn things more throughout the whole day. So what they say, early bird catches the worm. If you are able to um if you're able to wake up at a good time and then also go to sleep at a good time, and then still have some of your studying habits implemented into that, then you're going to be able to retain that information. But the downside of that is all nighters. That is also scientifically proven. If you get no sleep at all, your brain is not resting and your brain is not going to retain any information. So that's why I put at the bottom, no, all nighters. Just no. I'm pretty sure you guys have tried it once. I've tried it once. I've tried it a couple of times thinking that it was going to help me. It does not help. All nighters do not help at all. You're not going to retain information any easier if you don't get any sleep. So just always remember that sleep is important when it comes to studying. Now, a little fun thing I wanted to share with you guys are some snacks that you guys probably may have not realized are um, snacks that you may have not realized that actually are healthy for you and are actually really good brain food. So, one of those things are nuts, specifically like walnuts. And so, walnuts are important vitamins, and they have vitamin E and zinc, and that's basically essential for your brain's health. They're also high in fiber, healthy in fat and protein. So that means like if you guys are eating snacks while you are studying, if you eat some nuts while you're studying, you're not going to feel as hungry. It's going to be the same as eating chips, and it's a lot more healthier than eating chips. Trust me. um, there's also dark chocolate. So chocolate is probably everyone's favorite. Um, but who knew, right? Who knew that it can be a healthy brain food. Um, dark chocolate specifically, or cocoa, increases like the blood flow to your brain, which also really helps with your memory, your reaction time, and your visual spatial awareness. So not milk chocolate, not white chocolate, dark chocolate. It's a healthy brain food for you. It's a little bit more bitter, which is why maybe some people don't really like dark chocolate as much, but it is a healthy brain food. Probably not eat it all the time while you're studying, but you know, if you feel like treating yourself and you need a little sweet pick me up, then go ahead and get a dark chocolate. I don't know how many of us love coffee. I don't know how many of us love tea. I love both, but I've realized that coffee does not really do the same thing as tea does. Um, Coffee makes you jittery. I think that's a known fact for a lot of people. It can affect people in different ways. Like, um, funny enough, my mom, whenever she drinks a cup of coffee, she actually gets sleepy. So probably not the best thing to do or not the best thing to drink if you are trying to study and you get coffee and you know that you're going to fall asleep once you have your coffee. Probably don't do that. Um, Green tea is just like coffee. It has caffeine, so you'll be able to stay awake, but you'll feel less jittery. You won't feel like you're all over the place. I understand that coffee can be like really trendy, especially for our friends who love Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I was that kid too. But, if you drink tea, it not only like relaxes you a little bit more, it makes you focus more on the task at hand. Of course, there's also fruits. Um, we got our berries. Berries specifically are a really good choice. Fruits in general are always a good choice for snacking, but berries are like literally like the tier one category. So grab your strawberries, grab your blackberries, grab your blueberries. Um, Berries can help keep your brain healthy, and then it also can help with your learning and your memory. So it can also help with improving your learning and your memory. There's also, which is the last one, which is fatty fish, which is tuna and salmon. So if you happen to not like dark chocolate, if you happen to not even like fruits, or you happen to be allergic to fruits, if you really don't like tea, but you love sushi, guys, fish, salmon, tuna, they are going to help. Um, our friends from the sea have essential fats, which is basically omega 3s, and they're essential to your brain's health and your brain's cognition. So, thank Flounder next time you guys eat a bowl of poke. All right. So let's run it back real quick. Kind of bring back everything that we kind of learned so far. So one of the things that's really important when you guys are studying is to remind yourself that the environment that you're in is very important. So remember that if you can work easily by yourself and in a secluded place, which is like your room, and you study more effectively that way, then that's your effective study habit, that's your effective study technique. Studying can be effective when it matches your learning style. So remember, we talked about the different type of learners that we are. Um, if you're a visual learner, you are better at seeing things and learning things if you have it right in front of you and you can physically see it. And of course, sleep helps. All-nighters don't. Do not do all-nighters. I want you guys to promise me to never do all-nighters. They literally do not help. I don't care how many times you guys say to yourself that, oh, I've done it before and I've gotten an A on an exam. That is your one outlier. I kid you not. Like all-nighters will literally not help you at all. It's not going to help you physically and mentally. So I want you guys to promise me, don't do all-nighters. Get adequate amount of sleeps. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Go ahead and study before you go to sleep, but make sure that you're getting that 7 to 8 hours. So I want to thank you guys for listening to this presentation. I hope this helped you out. Again, um, this this is all recorded, so I will be sending this out to you guys as soon as possible. What I have up here is a feedback survey. So if you guys can, go ahead and scan the QR code, and I want you guys to give me feedback on what you thought about this presentation and answer all the questions that are on there. I think there's a section for comments on what you guys want to expect for our next workshop, but I would love to hear you guys' feedback on what you guys thought about it, if it was helpful, if it wasn't helpful. I am not shy to criticism. I would very much appreciate your guys' criticism. But along with that, I also wanted to mention this. So here is tutoring center info. So like I mentioned before, if you guys feel like you can't contact your professor and they aren't helping you, if you feel like you need more help rather than asking help from your friends and trying to find it on Google or whatnot, go to the tutoring center info. You guys can schedule an appointment um, or times for you guys to go over there and get the help that you guys need. Again, if you guys have questions or concerns for us, you know where to contact us. You have us at LBCC ECI on Instagram, and then also you have us on email um, at earlycollege@lbcc.edu. So I'm gonna leave this up for a little bit. I will get to you. I will get to sending you guys the information as soon as possible. Again, thank you guys for coming to this workshop. I hope it really helped. Sam, what is our next workshop?
Good question. It should be on note-taking techniques,
Okay,
and it's going to be the same website that we use to RSVP for this one.
okay, awesome. Thank you, Sam. So
Mhm.
you guys heard that. Note taking is going to be our next student success workshop presentation. It's going to be next month, so do keep a lookout for that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Look forward to seeing this presentation and all the information soon. So thank you guys.